Google Hangouts. We can try that if this doesn't work. Oh, hi.
Hello, good
We're
evening.
live. Yay, we did it.
We did it. It was a little bit of a process tonight.
It's a way bigger picture too.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's fun. Okay. Well, good evening. Are you all ready to get started? Like our rocking house can feel the energy in here. It's like, yes. Standing room only. That's right. We're standing. Right. There's room for you to stand with us. Get in the suit, right? I love it. Love it. It's so fun. So, things, I kind of feel like it's a little bit like we're on TV. You know how it is, like, okay, applause! Everyone's supposed to be doing out there, like, okay, yeah. Did you feel all that energy in the room? You know, about 5 minutes ago, we were kind of waiting. Right. So, Jessie, if you're on, I don't know if anybody's watching yet, but I told her we'd be live tonight.
It'll be better than like your phone too, because it looks like better quality than what your phone can do. So that's
Could be really great. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. You know how it goes. If it works with your phone. I was gonna say, but I didn't post on Facebook that we're live on Becoming Extraordinary. So you might want to go to your guys' Facebook page and maybe
I can't get to it.
Oh, you can't?
I can't get to Becoming Extraordinary page.
Yeah, she can do.
Yeah.
You can do
I can do
ours.
Star Believer.
On Star Believers, you do Rising Stars, and just say, "Hey, we're live on the YouTube channel. If you want to tune in." Becoming Extraordinary. Yeah. So we are that way. They know. Great. There's a really cute little background right now that's blue, and it's got little flowers, and there's bees on it. It's very Mary Kay. Fun. That is very Mary Kay. So, okay, we're waiting to get them all on there. Yeah. And then let's do some good news. I got Smarties for you because you're so smart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you know? Like, you're so super smart. That's good. That's right. Yeah. Did I already do that? You did. I already did it. Okay. Thank you. Teresa, got any good news?
Yes.
Yes. Yay.
Working on NDIQ May 1st. Pulling it all together, wrapping it all up, your nice little bow. You can put that card on. Yep.
Awesome.
May 2, whatever day that is. Yeah.
May Day.
My basket.
Right. That's great.
Yes. No, she's been doing some powwow things with your team.
Same, May Day. What day of the week is that?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. That's another opportunity. I know we wouldn't do Easter eggs, but it would be another time to randomly hand out little May baskets of some sort. I don't know what you would do exactly, but even the cute little cello bags with a sample and your card and a little text me for your gift or something. Get this free. You could even do like a free mascara or a free eyeshadow at your color appointment kind of thing. That's just thinking on my feet, but I love May Day and a lot of people do. And that one I can probably do more than the awesome lines at work. It's going to hand it to my people there at work. Yeah, for May Day. Yeah. That's a great idea. You know, tomorrow's Administrative Assistance Day. Yeah. That's what I thought you were going to say for gifts. May Day is a great thing to do, just even for your customers to do. Right. May Day gifts with some samples. I've done that, or minis, or 5 to 10 people that I knew worked in a business, and then I delivered them to their business, and then they were excited, and they might talk to their coworkers, and Yeah, you might have been a recipient of that once. Can't remember. That's a while ago, right? Mm-hmm. So, good news is Wanda?
Sunday was my 22nd anniversary of Pepsi.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's exciting. Congratulations. Yeah. 22nd on the 22nd? No, it was today. Not 22nd. I thought maybe that was
No.
Is that working? It was working last year.
It wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody even knew but me, so.
Oh.
I did though go to Hobby Lobby and I bought some of the little wedding, little tree boxes, the little square ones that you can hold up and then the top looks like a little paper bow almost, to, use instead of eggs.
Oh,
Or handing out and saying happy spring, because
good
my
idea.
egg quest goes, I wanted it to.
But still, that's perfect, because you didn't get them handed out, or you handed them out and you didn't
I've
get
never
receipts?
seen so many men in businesses in my whole life as I did when I was trying to hand out eggs. I went to the post office there because there's always women working behind the counter, and I specifically went in because I wanted to give them eggs. There was 2 men working, and there was 2 men at the counter, and there was 3 men in line. One man met me on my way out. One man followed me in. Then there was a man using the cell thing, and then when I was leaving, another man was coming in. I'm like, where are the women?
Where you get them from, especially because they run late.
I seriously stood there and thought, I did give it a lot of thought. So then the next day, I had to go to the bank, so I specifically went into the bank. Yeah, they were men tellers, and the nearest cubicle that had somebody in it was a man, and I thought, wow, seriously, am I not supposed to give out these eggs? I'm going somewhere else. So,
Yeah, I know how that works. That happens to me all the time too. It's really quite comical. Like even the guys on the phone with Kristen, cheering the guy who's saying, "Can I have his food?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the guy." And everywhere I go,
Yeah,
like,
even when we went to Scooters to put those eggs together, there were only men's stores.
so that's about those little boxes, the
you
little
can continue
wedding
on.
treat boxes, so that I can say happy spring. I bought some little butterfly stickers that I can stick on the outside of them and say happy spring, and so I can hand those out for quite some time.
it's a great idea. I could probably transfer mine to some little solo.
I thought the only thing would be the tag that said text the word egg, I'd probably have to take out, because that's a little
Yeah.
weird, but the other words that I put in
Would be good.
there were the same words,
Yeah.
so.
I think I'm gonna do that. I was gonna let myself off because I could eat the candy.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have 24 eggs left, which that's not bad considering I
Yeah.
had 72
Yeah.
eggs to start.
I think, I agree. And if I would have probably had leftover eggs too, if I wouldn't have had a place where I could leave my last 32.
I thought last Wednesday when I went to my networking, usually that coffee shop is full. I think it might be just because it was Easter week. But then there was nobody, and there was a couple, and they were way off in the corner. So they didn't look like they wanted to be interrupted.
I went to Village Inn Wednesday night last week, and it was dead.
Yeah, this was Wednesday,
Seriously, where are
but I
people?
think people were at church.
Not on Wednesday night,
Well,
We had a Passover thing.
Did you have a Wednesday night thing?
Mhm.
because
And
we
then-
had Thursday and Friday night.
Either that or they were home getting ready for all the other stuff. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
weird. But I did have out of the 50, well, not quite 50, 48 eggs. I had 15 people text me. That's great. That was for better than mine. Yeah, and I don't know, that might have been because of one. I mean, even though some, it could have been just random. It might have been, because they were curious as to what he was doing. Yeah, whatever. And I booked one. I have a facial with one. I was supposed to have it on Monday, and she didn't know town, but she communicated with me. So that's moved to Friday. So I have that Friday morning.
And when you stand from the national stage, it's one appointment, you can say, my sister Krista made me pass out 70 eggs. And this gal had a facial, then she had a party, and then there was all these people that were there.
Right. Right. I thought I had another one. One of the girls that was a test.
Oh, yeah.
One of them texted me yesterday. She, with the second text, that one that I added to that Shelby had posted, that one, I think if I had had that from the get-go, I maybe could have booked another one or two of those people. But the text I was using, I gave them all the information, so there was no reason to have any of that back and forth with them. So anyway, she came back and forth, and then she's like, I'm gonna pass. So then I sent her another text back saying, are you sure? My offer stands if you change your mind.
Jesse went to 3 different Easter egg hunts with the intention of handing out eggs. And I know she booked one. I didn't talk to her about how they're.
Yeah, it's supposed to be last Thursday, so I think it's gonna be this Thursday, but she said she handed out 30 at her additional, she left me a message today, so.
She called me Saturday morning, go find a kid and find an Easter egg and go. I'm like,
Excuse me, can I borrow your kid? I need to go to an Easter egg hunt, I need to get out the egg, right?
They had kids and they had to work on Saturday, so I always wanted to go roller skating, so I would grab their kid and take them roller skating on me. And they said, eventually we're gonna start having rent our kid to you.
Right.
And then I had my kid.
I used to have some little kids, but they have room.
I had to kind of watch it with Nolan, because he wanted to like give them to people, like random, like, some of that's kind of weird, Nolan. You gotta make sure they're an adult, because like they might think we're like trying to, you know. Can't get about to kids, right? We gotta be adults. Anyway, so that was good, good learning thing. Anyway, so we'll see what transpires. Actually, I got another text from one of them, that one from this Chloe, that was from the chest, that just came in yesterday. So that had been the very first day, yeah, that was that Monday that we went to the mall, so it had been over a week, yeah. I'm gonna reach out to Miley again and say that too. I know last week Easter was busy, so that's a good idea. Maybe I should go back to some of them that didn't respond after I sent that second text. Like, okay, Easter is, yeah, my offer's still out there. Yeah, so. But I think really bottom line is just getting out there, being willing, being that funnel, like, so that it can just rain down on us, because we're like open and, you know, don't have to talk on you. Yeah, a cork on our bottle. Yeah, say that. So hold in there and your victory pose, you let it all like come on in.
It's over.
Yeah. Any good news from you, Miss Beautiful? Abby?
Well, I mean, besides my fun trip, I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things. But no, probably nothing.
The world's problem, you know, she was coming back from the East Coast and was a superstar at the Red Sox game.
Yeah,
Like, that was like an important position to hold the flag.
yeah.
That's so cool.
That was pretty cool.
Memories. Yeah, blessings raining down on you for your, you know, all the lows in Fremont and all that kind of stuff, I think.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of, so it just was like, here's a little dig right there.
Yeah.
All right, so do you want to do some celebrations?
I do. So who made any outreaches last week? And up if you reached out to anyone. Yay. All right. All right, you can have 5 or more. Okay. Jump too high.
Wait, so when you want to
Outreaches is anything in your attempt
Okay.
to have a conversation. Phone call, text, Facebook messages.
So like handing out 50 eggs, I had 50 outreaches.
Well, then I better sit down.
No, I was just giving you an example.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Okay, so how many did you have? Getting back in the swing of things, that's a great way to do it. That's your phone. Yes, that's smart, you know, that's a great idea to get out of your house and go, because just,
Yeah.
sometimes there's too many distractions at home, or the TV looks too inviting, or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm realizing that, and just like, because there's a really cute coffee shop in Fremont. I mean, there's several other ones too, but just like, okay, instead of just going straight to my apartment and then looking at everything I need to do, I'm just gonna go there like every other day or every day or something, and just set aside an hour.
Yeah,
and-
so when you do your hour, make sure that you post your little booking hour.
Yeah.
on your little.
I could do one.
Good. I haven't looked at your guys' in a while, but that's fun, because then that's when you start, as you start having results, and that is like a direct correlation to all the other little things you
Very
post
true.
is based on your power hour. So, and once you start following everyone and they start to know you, then that would be a great place to have to shop. Yeah.
That's true.
You know, with our
Yeah.
school.
Oh, yeah, it definitely will.
So if you kind of, you know, start to, you know, just have little conversations with the people that work there, and that would be a good. Thanks. Plus the people will start to know you like you.
Yeah, because they're all like Midland college girls.
Yeah.
That work on the registry.
Mhm.
So
So
I thought
they'll be
about
like,
that last time.
yeah, they'll start talking to you and be like, I want to do this.
For sure. All right, so stand up if you talked to anybody last week about Mary Kay. Okay. All right. 3 or more contacts. 5, 8. All right. Okay. I had 7. 7? All right, awesome.
Holiday week, okay, well,
Yeah, all right, I was gonna say, yeah. And then stand up if you sold any product, you opened your store. Okay. All right, so you guys have one more? 150? 200? All right. What should be?
I have 165.
165? 102. 102, all right, okay. All right, so then, any facials? Last week? How many facials did you do? One, okay, one face. And any marketing plans? Okay, so that's what we gotta do this week. We gotta like flip the metal on. Metal to the core, whatever you say, metal to the metal.
We did that one with the new format, is that with you?
Jen? Yeah.
is that with you?
Yeah, that would have been 2 weeks ago. Yep. That's
Yeah,
Thank
this,
you.
since this week, we have 1 week. Next Tuesday is the last day of the month. So, have the rest of today. We'll be powerful in that, and we'll still have time for a power half hour, probably when we leave. This is a long month. It is. 5 Tuesdays.
But I just was thinking that anyway, I think it's because February's so short, and March was so great, like with weather and
Yeah.
flooding. And
Yeah.
March felt like,
Just let's have a do-over.
yeah, and
Yeah.
this month I feel like,
Oh, we still have plenty of time, like a week, like
Yeah.
huge results will come together.
again, get the cork off our bottle.
Right.
I'm expecting it,
And
Yeah. For sure. So, okay. I think that's everything right now.
do you want to talk about some ideas?
Who is the, products? Are those all of them?
I think those have been Spanish, but I didn't.
Because I didn't think about having that, I could have gone to my picture on my phone to talk about all the list, but I didn't.
Connected everything from the uses.
I don't want to. Okay, so you all know that there's a price increase coming, right? So now, good strategy would be to capitalize on that lower price, and you can either reach out to your customers and let them know that prices are going to be increasing, so they want to take advantage of them, now's a good time. Or you cannot tell them and order them at lesser amount and then make that extra profit. Okay, so the CC cream is going from 20 to 22. So your profit will be $12, starting, probably now it's 10, it will be 11. That's wrong.
Is it like the May 16th?
May 16 is the increase.
Yeah, but it says the sale price will be 22 and half of 22 is 11, not 12. And this little chart says 12, will be the profit.
No, you're reading the wrong. Oh. You're not. Then the next one is wrong too.
Is this,
I don't know, I guess I didn't look at it that close, that's bad on my part. You do the math. But
They're
you're
all wrong
right,
by $1.
the increase.
unless, no, here's how it is. If you buy it for 20, then your profit is $2 more because you make a profit on it. So there we go, okay. Just gotta put our smart heads together, smarties.
So we're not-
Yeah.
we're not-
I'm proud of myself for thinking that, because I always with that stuff, do I? But then I looked at the oil-free eye makeup remover and it shows $7.50 as your current purchase or, your profit. But it will be $9.50 on the oil-free eye makeup remover.
If you bought it up.
If you buy it now at the $15 price. Oil mattifier, 16, going up
Yeah,
to
I'm-
18,
I think we're going to 17.
17. Foundation primer is going to 20. I think I was still charging people 16 for it because for whatever reason, it was stuck in my brain that it was 16.
Yeah. It's 2 times ago.
Yeah. Facial hydrator for men,
That's all I remember.
which I have that in my car for you. That's probably why I didn't write it in.
No, I just need to kind of remember which mint.
Yeah,
it was.
that
I
one's
was
going to
wondering if I was
25.
or-
So your profit would be $13. Lip primer's going to 25. The deep wrinkle filler's going to from 45 to 48. So your profit goes up to $25.50 if you, if you order now. So 7 products or 8 products shipping, and they're all pretty much staples. I mean, I sell a lot of the CC cream, foundation primer, oil mattifier, oil free, eye makeup remover, are my big ones.
Yeah, so much. I saw CC cream, eye makeup remover, and foundation primer.
So one of the,
Almost everybody of my current customers buys all 3 of those items.
thinking like a retailer, I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of to like maximize 10 of each or however many. The other thing on those, CC creams, of course, has an expiration date because of the sunscreen, but yes, but this doesn't.
And men's facial
So-
hydrator.
You can boost your totals and your numbers for your key jewelry this month. And to help Stacy, Melinda and I both have been challenged to have a certain amount of production based on our unit size, that we get head table seating at seminar. When we achieve that, that's really cool.
If we just do it for the month.
She said that, well, one-time shot in April, you hit your level this month and she'll do that. Because normally it's Unit Club, Queen's Court Sales, Queen's Court Sherry. She said she's not gonna have the arms coming off the stage like she has had. They'll all be on stage.
Or you'll be in round
Or
table.
you'll be around tables in front. So,
We need to hit the mark.
yes,
I didn't hear that part. I got on.
yeah, so.
And she said,
Yeah. So, you know, that just is smart, good business, taking advantage of that.
I think, for me, like this week, since we've got this great week, I mean, I have no problem ordering extra eye makeup remover, CC cream, right, foundation primer, we'll do that. But you can make it even higher if you're willing to take some time and that can be a reason to call your customers, right? To say, hey, I just learned there's some price increases coming. So I wanted to give you a heads up and an opportunity if you wanted to stock up or get some now before that price goes up. And I probably wouldn't be as specific as when it's gonna go up. Maybe that's not like leaving out some details. I would just say it's going up in May rather than saying May 16th. Because if you put it out there for a long time, then they'll forget. And if you don't call it, 2 things will happen. You might find yourself thinking, oh, I don't want to call her back and bother her. When really she forgot. Or 2, you do, and she didn't, I really wasn't interested. So if you just say, there's a price change coming in May, I wanted to give you this opportunity since we've got a few days. I'm going to be putting your order in the next couple of days. So if you'd like me to get you a couple, great, let me know. Otherwise, the other thing I would say is it's not huge, it's a couple dollars, but a couple dollars here and a couple dollars there add up. Plus it could be a coffee.
Right. Yeah.
So you're just giving them that
Courtesy.
information. And, they'll thank
As a
you.
courtesy to you.
The other thing that will happen is then they'll say, oh, by the way, just throw me in I might need a cleanser or.
Yeah, I'm so glad you called.
I need
this
to
and this and
call
this.
you. Yeah, I need whatever.
Yep.
So, it makes that reason, just gives you that extra reason, that big customer service, those things that tie them to us and why they want to have a consultant. So.
That's giving Cadillac customer service. So, okay.
That's great.
Any thoughts or questions on any of that? Any thought processes you need clarification on? Okay. All right. set it off.
They're all retailers too.
They are, they are smarties.
They probably already have it all figured out now.
Yeah.
Geez, this must be really important, like you put it on email last night, now you got it on Facebook this morning, now you're talking about it again. No, I just think that that's the thing. The other thing that I think is also important when you're making those phone calls, that you could tell them is that the current foundations are gonna be changing over. So you could say, medium coverage is going away. So if you've got any medium coverage gals, they need to be on the top of your list to call and say, that is phasing out. How many do you want? If they didn't train,
Is that foundation expired?
no. The recommendation is a 3-year shelf life.
Okay.
But if you store it properly, it's probably gonna be fine, for them, if they wanna store it, just giving them the option to do that. I think, again, it's back to that great customer service and having them be aware that it's moving. I know for me, I've got 2 people that use medium coverage that I couldn't get them transitioned over. They just don't like the matte and the luminous. Right?
I'm one of them people.
Yeah. So,
Nobody knows, but.
right, that
You
matte,
must have.
I used it too. That matte and luminous, I'm not worried at all about my matte and luminous customers. I think they'll love the 3D. It's gonna be a great seamless transition. It's gonna be better. The colors are gonna be better. They're gonna love it. Yes, are there gonna be a few people that have used it that they don't really want to change and they'll have something? Yes, of course there will be, but the majority of them, it's not even gonna be a big deal. They're just gonna take it and they're gonna love it. Just like the 3D, I haven't had any really problem with that. Once they've switched, they're like, I love it, it's great. I told them, it's gonna have a different smell. It's
Yeah,
gonna,
in that same vein, telling them that they're changing it's also a price increase as well. So that might be a reason to use, they're like, oh, I'll just switch to the new, and then when it's 25 instead of 22, they might wanna save $3 and use up one more that you have on hand.
an
or
awesome
whatever.
price compared to what they're.
Absolutely. So many people I know that have used other foundations are paying in excess of 45 or more.
When are we gonna be able to order the 3D?
May 16th. Well, that will be on the next order form. So when you guys that did preferred customer, give yourself all around, I know y'all did, you'll be able to order and starting on May 10th. So it's right now is having the opportunity to move through your existing stuff. But again, that medium coverage, that's going to be going away. And that will start selling out. People will buy up, those popular colors. Like I know 300 and 400, which are the 2 colors that my gals that have one to switch use. So giving them that opportunity and, assuring them that the product's going to be great. It's not a reason to cause alarm. It's been a long time since we've had a change. Not as long as time-wise, but 8 years, 9 years on the foundation. I think so. It doesn't seem possible. But yeah, I didn't test them on that. I didn't try to. Yeah. So those are the things that right now gives you a reason. And then you can say to them, so let's connect. Let's set up a time to get together when, would you do a party on our trip to the Bahamas? Is there any reason why you could gather a couple of friends? We keep that kind of that conversation going. They want to be a part of helping you. So, and there's still way enough time to earn our trips. Right? The first James director is up, Rachel Raleigh, got hers done. So now the interim is like start opening up, right?
Yeah. I think Erica's really close to having hers wrapped up.
Yeah.
She has a red jacket finish, so I think it's reds from Reds. I think that's.
I'm sure that she's details away from her bead too.
But I think she needed 4 last time. She has them, which is not qualifying.
Yeah. That's when you're being smart and maximizing double credit. She maxed that out in July, so. Or in August, she had 12 going.
I think then and in January.
Yeah.
She maxed that too.
If she had got caught up that in January for that trip, she had like 2 or 3 of them
Yeah, well then she probably, yeah, I think she could get them all. She got 3, you only needed 3. This is 6.
And my guy also became a consultant, which kind of built for Erica, and then I think she also recruited for me.
Yeah, so she's a good jack. On her way. So, it's just women on a mission with passion, purpose, and a plan. What are we willing to do, right? Just gotta believe it, gotta think it, believe it. No, we have to have that focus, that tunnel vision focus, with the cork off of our bottle. Is that funny? And then it all can come together. It really, and knowing that there's gonna be things that are gonna be thrown at you from craziness, like a flood. Like, those things are gonna happen. So we take care of business, we take care of what we need to do, and then we move on. So I had this really great podcast I listened to today that I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to share and some training tonight because I knew we were going to be live, and I always like to give some good stuff. Have you guys ever listened to Ed Mylett? You heard of Ed Mylett? Ed Mylett, Mylett. He's like this real macho guy, and he's super positive. He's got a great story. His background came from, poverty, homeless. Like I think he might have even been in foster care. Do I remember that right? Worked in
I know I like to listen to them.
So today he had this little thing. It wasn't as inspirational as normal. A lot of his stuff is usually inspirational. He does a lot of different interviews with different people.
I'm just dropping off these magazines here. I kind of fit in time.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I thought you guys were going, but
Yeah, over here.
they're
Just
all.
put them there on the.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Seen you before, thanks.
Yep, you bet.
He interviewed, Manny
Kirschman?
Yes, with
I had to look it up.
all these amazing cars this guy owns, and he came from Iran. It is so inspiring, and what he did, his family was homeless when they got here, and they lived in a station wagon, and the jobs that he did to make money, and how he now he's got these cars that like one car is like $300,000 and some thousand. Wow. He's got multiple cars. It's just, again, back to that, take the lid off and think about it. And he doesn't, he did it, he has worked for it, and he went broke, he, went bankrupt. And the one time that, he's done a lot of stuff with real estate, but anyway, a great story. So that's a great one to watch. Well, this one today that I was going to talk about was becoming a better listener, which I really think is so key for us in sales. It's really, really important to be a good listener when you're in sales. Some of these things that we know, that we have 2 eyes, 2 ears. I wrote down 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 ears, and 1 mouth for a reason. He suggested that when you get nervous, do you begin to talk more? That's one of the things that we have to be cautious of. And when we're out there and we're working with our customers, is thinking about the things that we're doing and saying, because really everyone wants to be heard. Do you agree? I have watched so many times when I've been in different meetings and different venues, and watching the people who just actually come alive when they get to start talking about, they start telling their story. That's how it is in our business too. So he had some really great, tips that I was going to share with you. He did say being a great listener is easier than being a great talker. So sometimes we get nervous on that, but when you're a listener, you don't have to worry about what you're going to say next or what, because if you're listening, you will know what to say next. You don't have to think of the next question. You'll hear something that you'll be curious and you want to ask about. He said, ask lots of questions. So he asked, do you interrupt? Do you finish sentences? Do you cut people off? I know, I've always had the challenge of finishing people's sentences. I've gotten way better. And that comes way back to when Clay and I were going through our engagement classes, and the priest said, "You would drive me crazy. You finish everybody's sentences."
He said that you?
Yeah.
And you remember that from how long?
Yes, I never forgot it, because he was right. I did do that. Like, I still have to, like, there are times when I know that I have to, like, bite my tongue, because I just like, come on, get, like, like.
And now you can see your butter.
Yeah.
To the point, like, okay.
Some of us are a little bit more detailed.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. So he said, one person talking, one person listening until they are finished. So not interrupting, not finishing, not giving them better words, not solving their problems. They just want to be heard. So he said, here are some of the great things that you need to do. When they finish speaking, ask for clarification. So what I'm hearing is, or can you clarify that? Am I understanding you correctly? So that you're hearing it back and making sure that you're understanding what they're saying. Eye contact is absolutely key. And we know that. I think that's one of the blessings of our business that we have, is that Mary Kay's always said that. That's the basis of our business. That's building those relationships. That's something that I really feel like we need to continue to work and grow and build, because the younger generation doesn't have that. They're not having that skill. They're not being necessarily taught that unless they're in some kind of speech thing.
Our parents are in Mary Kay.
Right. It's for the we know that that's
I did
not.
have multiple people tell me that. I can tell she advocates for herself and she makes great eye contact. She's good at talking to adults. I thought, well.
Yeah. That's what they told me when they were trying to diagnose Nolan. I said, well, he looked you in the eye. And they're like, well, you taught him that. I'm like, yes, I did teach him that. You're right. But I would assume that the other parents would have been trying to teach their kids that too if they were on the spectrum, but apparently not necessarily. He says, check your body language. Are you leaning in? What's your facial expression? Is it matching the moment? His examples on there were like, so like some people will just be smiling the whole time, and really that doesn't match what the person is telling them. So you can be like smiling at them, like thinking I should be smiling at you. They're telling you something super sad. I mean, like, that some of those things that you think, duh. But really, sometimes I think we need to checkpoint ourselves because we don't even necessarily know that we're doing it. Or rather than like just sitting there cross-armed or doing something, it's like, are you leaning in? Are you being active? I see this all the time at events. Like you start watching people when you're at events, or actually when we go to things and we have a head table, watch the people at the head table. Do you do it? I know you probably do it. Do you ever notice that? What people are doing at the head table? Some people should not be sitting at the head table, even though they're there. You have to pay attention. Like you can't sit up there and be like, or falling asleep, or picking your nose. I don't know. I've not seen that, but messing with your phone. I mean, it's obvious. Like you're sitting up there and you're doing these things, and or you're not engaged with the speaker. Like given that feedback, that connection, like you're doing all these other things. I see it all the time. There's some of my girlfriends and I want to like kick them. Like, hello, when you're the person up there speaking, you're not gonna like that. So don't do that to other people because they're gonna go right back to you.
When I was in high school and I was talking for, I was in the running for the Miss Cass County Queen. And so they do like a contest in front of everybody, like the Wednesday night of fair. And so like all day was interviews, but then at nighttime was you did your speech in front of everybody. So it's basically like a regular pageant or whatever thing. So you're in your dress. So there was like 6 of us on stage there. And it's like, it was really like imitating. Like I felt like, you feel like you're being judged the whole time, but it definitely makes you more aware. Like I have that AA, at least acting like I'm paying attention to what the other girl's talking about. Because otherwise, who knows if the judges are looking at you to see if you're going to laugh at something that she says. Just you think of, I remember thinking about that way back then. And
front of that many people. That's just.
So you learn that skill.
Right.
That's so important. And we can teach that.
So what does this guy say about, can you take notes while you're listening?
You know, he didn't say that, but I would say yes.
Depending on the conversation, sometimes people are saying stuff and I want to respond, and if you're not supposed to respond until they're totally done, I would need to write it down because I forget by the time they went through 7 other topics.
It'd be probably as you're taking notes, not just to be down here all the time and just.
Your
Maybe
meeting
I-
though. Your meeting though, so you don't forget. He doesn't say that.
Respond.
But here's my thought on that, because I know exactly how you feel. Like sometimes the conversation goes so fast. We've had this conversation at our family dinners. Like I want to say something and the conversation just keeps moving so fast. Like I'm trying to listen to everybody, you know, and then the conversation has gone to 3 different topics before I get a chance to say anything.
Right.
So it'd be really interesting. Actually, I wonder if I should like type that in on his little Instagram, because he does comment on some of that stuff. That would be interesting to see what he thinks about, what he would say about that. I go back and forth with that. It's super frustrating to me.
I don't want to interrupt, but.
Right, well, you know, you're trying to, but not everybody like plays that game. They like, obviously that's how we get to 3 different topics. So I don't know. I kind of feel like on some levels, maybe it wasn't important that I say that. It'll come back around if I'm supposed to say it.
Or is it a one-on-one conversation?
Yeah.
Like, and Stacy always has talked about in your marketing plans that she had a dual marketing sheet that she took notes on, and she gave them one that they could take notes on as well. So I think it's totally appropriate to write down key points that you want to make sure you remember.
Come back to if she's hopping around on because sometimes that all and really
And we kind of did that when we got here tonight. We both had different things that we were touching on, and we would send that. And I'm kind of all over the place, you know, because we had several things we needed to figure out.
yes. Marketing plans, I wanted to continue on that, and here's my perfect example. Marketing plans would be, you know, that would be important because of the things that you wanted to hit. But just the fact that she's talking, she really doesn't need to know. Like if she needs to jump around and she's got all these things and you're just listening, you might have a better opportunity to close her if she feels really valued and heard. So she might not need to have all of the details and things that we think we need to make sure she gets. She might only need to know that it's $100 decision. So sometimes in my desire to make sure I share everything, I think that can work against me. I agree. Because I just let her talk and, you know, I get, you know,
So what you're saying is if the very last thing needs a response, respond, and then don't even worry about all the 75 other things that triggered thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
Through the conversation.
unless she comes back around and says something and we have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you're at a party or you have multiple people, you're going to have those different things. So it's just kind of, you know, to go with that flow. I don't know if that helps, but I would wonder what he would say. I would think that it would be okay to jot some things down, just not being totally engrossed in your notes, like what you said, if it's a conversation that you're supposed to have back and forth. I know that what Stacy talks about and what I do say is I will say, I'm going to take notes because I really want to make sure I hear what you're saying. And that's the way I think best.
Some of the leadership classes that I took through work, listening to one another, you know, like one person would talk, then you would go back and reiterate what they said so that you can say, this is what I feel that you said, just for the clarification. And then it was okay to take notes. So then that way you hit those key points and was able to go back. But it was more just don't get totally engrossed.
Yeah. And I really do. I think better if I write stuff down. Like I can get locks into my brain. Yeah, better. So people are gifts. The way you open them up is asking them questions. I do like that. So real quick, here's going to be a quick 5 questions, Steve. She was coming back. To ask yourself, one, do I intend to do more or less in the conversation? So they should be talking more. Two, when you don't understand what they're saying, do you ask them questions? So you're asking for that understanding. Three, do you try to figure out what they're going to say before they say it? I have been guilty of that. Four, do you find yourself not paying attention to what people are saying to you? Are you sincerely interested? For me, I feel like that becomes a big challenge the longer they go on. Like if you can't interject, that can become, and it also can be a challenge when you're on the telephone to not be paying attention. So was it you that I was talking to that said, are you listening to elevator music? Was that you that said that to me? When we were on the phone? And you said when you were new?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't remember what you were doing
We
though.
were on the telephone and I had a conversation with my computer because.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I remember she's like, are you listening to elevator music? The reason why I bring that up is because for me, I have to be really on purpose and intentional with what I have going on when I'm going to be on the telephone, because I get distracted by the music or if there's something on my computer screen, so if I've got songs that I like to sing, that catches that can take me off, and then I miss what is going on when I'm talking to someone. So I found that smooth jazz, I prefer to call it. It's so cute because I'm like, oh my gosh, there is a generation gap here.
Oh, shoot.
I love it. It's funny. But I bring that up. I forgot until I started to tell the story that I'm like, I think that was funny.
Yeah.
Being intentional about what you're doing when you're on the telephone. And I can't be sitting at my computer like looking at things or multitasking, because then you miss things. I think that it's just so important that we give our undivided attention. So sometimes I know where I have a problem is the longer that conversation goes on, figuring out how you can say, okay, like time's up. Mary Kay had a doorbell on her desk. You all know that? Like to ring the doorbell, because if the phone call was going too long, like so that somebody's at the door. Yeah, I gotta go. I'll have to get back to you later. Because sometimes that can happen. Yes. And, wanting to be polite, but knowing that there are times where that absolutely happens. Like you can't just sit on the phone and listen for 3 hours. So, anyway, so I share that.
It's a little tougher now that you have a phone that's not on a cord, because I have had that actually happen. And the person's like, okay, you go get it. I'm like,
Right.
because you can walk with your phone and,
Right.
but. Yeah. I do have a cord phone. Yeah.
But you're right. And people will say, I'll hold. Yeah. So then it's having those things that you can say, like, okay. So they can move on. So anyway, I thought I'm giving you my things that I get challenged with. So, can you intuitively tell the difference between what someone is saying and what they are feeling? So it's really important to be listening for those emotions. Again, that's very challenging on the telephone, but you absolutely can do it if you listen. If you start to listen for her tonality, her, the inflection, that, what's going on. You can even pick up if they're not really listening to you. You doing something else that should I call you later? In conversations with people, do you find yourself finishing their sentences or supplying them with better words? Talk about. Do you sometimes only hear the facts and figures and not hear the emotion behind it? That was the one thing you said. Listening to the emotion is important in sales. So you connect with the emotion, and that's going to give you the influence. So it's super important in sales that you're not just listening for the facts and the figures, but you're looking for that emotion. An example of that, I think, would be if you're talking to them about some of our products. Well, it could even be with marketing plans. If they're like giving you all the reasons why, like right now, like they're too busy, they got this and this, but you can feel in their body that they actually have some interest or some excitement. But they're there's maybe fear holding them back. That's looking for that emotion. Okay. Let's see, what was the one thing? Let's see, okay, so listen for pace and tonality, and listen, one of the things I love, listen to the volume of their voice, and the words that they use. This was the other big thing, and I'll just finish with this. So when they are saying things, like he used the example literally, like if they've used the word like literally, like 3 or 4 times, then you want to use that word back to them appropriately. Okay, I use the word, I know I say awesome a lot. I'm like trying to get a new word. But so if someone was talking to me and they say, that's so awesome, like they would say it back, like, you know, when you hear that word that you say a lot, that's going to make that connection. Have you ever thought of that before? When you said that, I'm like, that's so true. So whatever the words, they'll say it. They've got, we all have them. We all have a word. You think about it. Can you think of the word you say all the time?
I know Martha used to always tell me that I'd say it's all good. It's all good.
You say it's all good, or here's the deal. Yeah, you say here's the deal. Here's the deal. I say that too, but I hear you say that a lot. I hear it a lot. I mean, yeah. So that would be appropriate for at some point for me to say, well, here's the deal, and she'll pick up on that because that she says that a lot.
I haven't said it so much that I found a coffee mug that said it, so then I gave it to her for something.
It's all good.
Yeah, she sent me a picture not too long ago. She drank her coffee out of that.
She had a great video on the other day with the
Yeah, she did.
birthday. She did the packing video thing. That was fun.
What do I say all the time?
I don't know. I mean, I think about that. I don't know. You have to listen. I'm sure there's something. Yeah, I know there
had a
is.
few guys that were, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Or, you know, and it's like, no, we don't.
I did think about it for a minute, but I know there's things that I've heard. Well, always, like I said, we all have them. I'm sure I have something else we say also. Can you tell me what else I say all the time?
Can I tell you? I'm sure if I thought about one, if I could.
Can I tell you? I thought you were going to say that.
I know that you're like, okay, let's get real.
Where you might see a sister
Whatever. I say seriously. I say seriously.
Because I think I thought that when you first said it, and then I lost it. But, well, you say that. Tori and Kara both say technically. I said, I don't want to talk in technical terms all the time. I mean, you do have to.
So now you'll have to say that back to them. Well, technically,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
So the other thing you can pick up on is like when your kids, so no, that's how I know I say seriously, or that's ridiculous. Because Nolan has started saying that's ridiculous.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Like, for the love of Pete. I say, for the love of Pete. For the love of Pete. I say that. That, seriously, and that's ridiculous. I'll say that's ridiculous. And so we'll be like, that's ridiculous. He's saying it about school, like the teachers, and like, oh my God, that came straight to me. So, I think it's really great. So it's a 26-minute podcast. I highly, I would recommend. I think it's great skill. The other thing that he said that I should just probably end with is you said it's always really important to send a follow-up, to have a follow-up later that day that kind of deepens the connection, like in this sense. But that was such a great conversation we had today. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed our conversation so much. It was great to meet you. Which again is what Mary Kay taught us. She taught us to write notes, which I think notes are super important too. Like if you can just do that and just pop that in the mail, I think that's going to go even further. Thanks for being my customer. Thanks for a conversation today. It was great to have coffee with you. But even just a text or a Facebook message or something that says, that was great.
Kylie's really good.
I was really good at that. Making that connection. So those are the things that I really feel like that sets us apart in our business if we're doing these kind of things. So I wanted to hit on that. and then share that with our live people. Everybody must be off by now. Justin was on there for a little bit, I did see some really helpful on there. But anyway, to take those kind of skills out there and deal with them, the transfer is on there now. Did you guys make your list last week on who you would like just be sick if they showed up with someone else? And if they weren't beauty consultants, did you make that list? Okay, that would be.
I opened my book tonight and read it.
So, okay, so let's put that out there again. This will be a better week. Last week was a holiday, Easter week. And this Holy Week, there's a lot going on. So really, I would encourage you to do that in the next 24 hours. Make your list of the people that you have as customers that are in your circle, that are in your life, that if you showed up at an event and they were there on somebody else's arm, either as a customer or as a consultant, worse as a consultant, would that make you sick? Make that list, and those are the people that we need to talk to, or you need to talk to, or you would encourage you to make that connection on some level. And you can say to them, you know what, I've been thinking, and I'm wanting to do more with my business, or I've been doing more, I'm so excited, or however that sounds. And I just had this thought, I would just be sick if you were introduced to this through someone else. Could I share this with you? If you're not interested, that's okay. I'm not going to twist your arm. Maybe it might be something that you love. That's your challenge. Things that you want to make sure you have on your calendars next. Next, we'll have Tuesday night here. Then Thursday night will be just rally night in Omaha, or not in Omaha, in Ashland at the Riverview, right? So that's Thursday night, the 2nd. And then Saturday morning, the 4th, Stacy is doing a guest event in Omaha that morning from 10 to noon. I think we posted, is that an invite?
The one that we did wasn't the invite, but there is an invite also.
Okay, so then we'll get that on there so that you have that. I'll get that out. We'll get that on there tonight. We have it though.
Yes, I think it might be in box.
Okay, so we'll get that invitation out so that you can
Actually, it might be
people.
in the James area Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's on the grants, or the, yeah.
Audacious.
Yeah.
So 10 to 12 on Saturday morning at the La Vista Embassy. She did it at the beginning of March. It was a great event. I think it'll be another great event. So really a great thing to bring guests to bring just even people that you just, want more confidence, if they want, I think it's even more, encompasses more than just a ranking world. I think they'll get some things out of it, but it will show them the kinds of things that we do within our company. Red Jackets can sign up and go to lunch with Stacy. Right there at the hotel at noon. So she'll do a Red Jacket luncheon.
How much is it for guests?
Guests are free. It's $10 for the consultant. And guests are free. That's always free.
Yeah.
And it's right off the interstate, so it's super easy to get to. Right by there, right by Cabela's. It's so nice. So those are the things. I'm just going to encourage you not to plant any seeds in your brain, but I know May always seems to be one of those months. So right now, if you can get in there and get your bookings going and your conversations going, you'll all be so happy that you did, because the graduations will start, and that will be one of the things people say, well, I gotta get through graduation. So, knowing what you're gonna say is like, gosh, only 30 minutes, or, you need this for those graduations. What do you know where the graduations can I help you with the spring look? Those kinds of things, so that you can have that ready. So that you're saying, and they're like, oh, yeah, I could use that. So, all right, let's go. Make it a great, glorious week with lots of results. We're gonna wrap it all up when we're here, wrap up April when we're here next week. And there we go. I don't know if I can, end right there. And this is way easier than the telephone.